Hey class, this is week 9 of your grade 11 University English course. We're going to run through what's going on this week. But first, before I do that, I just wanted to talk about midterm marks. You'll see this post when you're while you're watching this video. It's going to be on our news feed, but you'll notice under the subheading that I have that says marks/group feedback, there's some information about what marks are going to be used for calculating your midterm mark. So essentially, it's going to be all of the evaluations from the rhetorical devices and persuasive text unit. And then we're going to be using the taking notes analysis chart from the podcast unit for your midterm. Okay, this week you do have another evaluation for the podcast unit, which is where you'll be making your own podcast, but because of being flexible with timelines at the end of quadmester one, we're not going to make that part of the midterm. So you have essentially 3 evaluated marks that will show up for your midterm mark, and then moving forward, the final evaluation for the podcast unit will be included in the final grade that you're going to receive. Okay, so if you're wondering about what marks look like for your midterms, that's going to be that. You'll also get marked on your learning skills, as well as you'll be provided comments, usually structured one strength, something that you can improve on, and steps forward. Okay, so that's that for marks. What we're doing this week, as always, you can jump onto the content page, or you can check the activity feed, which will link you to what particular assignments you are accessing through the content page. As always, check the attendance activities this week, week 9. It's just a survey asking you, how's it going? I just wanted to check in as we end quadmester 1. You're still with me, so I'll be your teacher in quadmester 2 because this is a semestered course. So you're sticking around. You have one consistent course, which is kind of nice. So my attendance activity is just asking how it's going with you, and if you need anything from me on my end, it's a good time to communicate that. This week, you are entering the final week of our podcast unit. There's an evaluation that is asking you to create your own podcast. There are a couple important components. Hopefully, you've started on this last week, as I suggested. So essentially, what this task is asking you of is to educate a podcast audience on a specific topic of your choosing. Things that you have to include is research. You need at least 2 pieces of research for the topic you're exploring. You also want to write a script for your podcast so that you know what you're saying before you record. And then finally, you want to submit the recording. So 3 big things there. One is the recording, one is a script, and you can include your research in your script as well. Some questions I usually get for the podcast unit are, how do I cite research in a podcast? Well, all you have to do is, obviously we can't do a works cited page. You can put a works cited page at the end of your script. And in the podcast, you just want to acknowledge your resource. So if you are speaking on your topic, or if you have a character speaking about a certain topic, you can use the words according to, right? Or in this research by whoever. So that those are 2 examples of ways you can incorporate research into your podcast. Okay. Keep in mind, this is a very open task. So you can be creative. It doesn't have to be long, 2 to 5 minutes. I know that you're doing this individually. Okay, this is not a group task, so you're doing it by yourself. So try to keep it focused. Try to pick a topic and then narrow it down to something very specific about that topic, because you do not have a lot of time to take up. Okay, so try and get specific. Use that research and try to incorporate some logos or maybe any of the other persuasive elements. Good time to use our tools from the previous unit. Okay, so that's the podcast evaluation that's due at the end of the week. But as I mentioned, this is not being included on the midterm. And as always, trying to be flexible. If you do know they need some more time, or if there's some circumstance, then just send me a message. Try to keep me in the loop. That helps a lot on my end. All right. So that's the weekly rundown for week 9. I hope you're having an awesome week, and I'll see you around. As always, I'm available on Tuesdays where you can ask me anything about the course between 11:15 and 11:45. See you later.